Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open the blueprint for a whole new generation of smarter AI. This is all about something called Agentic RAG, and we're basing our deep dive on some great material from LeafTech Solutions Learning. Okay, let's just dive right in. Have you ever had this happen? You ask a really complex, multi-part question. Something like, hey, what are the real reasons lithium prices have been skyrocketing, and what's that going to mean for the whole electric vehicle industry down the line? And the answer you get back is, well, it's just kind of flat, simple, one note. We're going to look at exactly why that happens, and then explore a seriously cool solution. So here's the game plan for our explainer today. First, we'll talk about the limits of AI as we know it. Then, we'll introduce you to the idea of AI agents. After that, we'll walk through the architecture of how these systems are built, see them in action with our lithium question, and wrap up with why this whole approach is such a massive deal for the future. All right, so first things first, let's really get a handle on the problem. Why is it that even the most powerful AI models can sometimes feel a bit underwhelming when you ask them something complicated? Well, it all comes down to how they get their information. You know, most of the AIs you interact with use a method called retrieval augmented generation, or just RAG for short. The best way to think about it is like having an AI with a librarian on speed dial. You ask a question, the AI figures out what it needs, and poof, the librarian fetches the one perfect book with the answer. It's incredibly fast, and it keeps the AI grounded in facts, which is awesome for straightforward questions. But, and this is a big but, what happens when the answer isn't in just one book? To really get to the bottom of our lithium question, you need insights from economic reports, sure, but also from geological surveys, recent geopolitical news, and forecasts about car manufacturing. That's where standard RAG just hits a wall. A single librarian, no matter how fast, just isn't going to cut it. So let's get to the solution. If one librarian isn't going to solve the mystery, what do? Well, you don't just get a bigger library. No, you assemble a whole team of specialist detectives. And this right here is the fundamental shift in thinking. We're moving away from that single librarian model of standard RAG to what's called Agentic RAG. This isn't a library anymore. It's a full-blown detective agency, staffed with a team of specialized AI agents, and each one is ready to tackle a piece of the puzzle from their own unique angle. And now that we've got this idea of a detective agency, let's take a look at the headquarters, the actual floor plan. This is the blueprint that shows us how a complex case, like our lithium query, actually works its way through the entire system, from the moment it comes in the door to the final report. Okay, here it is. The whole shebang. The complete architectural diagram. I know, it looks like a lot at first glance, but don't worry about it. We're going to go on a guided tour. We'll follow our lithium price investigation as it moves through this system piece by piece. Every case has to start somewhere, right? Our question, our tip, comes into the system right here, through what's called API services. You can just think of this as the front desk of the detective agency, or maybe the dispatch center. This is where the case file gets officially opened. And here is where things get really cool. The person at the front desk doesn't try to solve the case themselves. They know this is a big one, so they immediately send it up to the main floor, where our team of expert agents gets down to business. The query lands right here, in this multi-sub agents unit. This is really the heart of the whole operation. The case isn't just tossed to any random detective. Nope. It's assigned to a planner agent who acts as the lead investigator for this case. And what does this lead investigator do? It immediately breaks the complex question down into smaller, manageable tasks. It's like a scene from a movie. All right, team, listen up. Agent 1, you're my economics expert. I need all the commodity price data for lithium for the last 5 years. Agent 2, you're on geopolitics. Find me every piece of news about mining disruptions and trade policy changes. Agent 3, you're our industry analyst. Get me the latest EV production forecasts now. And what's brilliant is that each of these specialists uses the right tool for their specific job. One agent might use something called a vector search, which is kind of like searching for ideas and concepts, not just keywords. Another agent might use a graph search, which is more like building a giant mind map to find hidden connections between, say, a mining company and a specific battery manufacturer. They're pulling all these clues from different kinds of specialized databases. But of course, a detective agency is only as good as its intel, right? Its evidence locker has to be top-notch. And that's the job of this data ingestion pipeline over here. It's constantly pulling in the latest information from financial markets, news feeds, you name it, making sure the agency's knowledge is always up to date. So we have this incredible idea for an AI detective agency. It's a fantastic blueprint. But how do you take it from a cool diagram on a slide to a real-world system that can handle thousands of users reliably day in and day out?
Well, that's what the rest of this blueprint is all about. It's not just the fun stuff, it's the professional grade infrastructure that makes it all work. You've got tools for deployment, dedicated services to run the AI models themselves, and, this is super important, a whole system for monitoring and evaluation to make sure every single agent is performing at its absolute best.
Okay, so we've toured the agency, we've watched the team crack a case, and we've even peeked at the plumbing that keeps it all running. So let's zoom out. What's the big picture here? Why does this shift from a single AI to a whole team of AIs matter so much?
I think the key thing to take away is this. The next big leap forward in AI isn't just going to come from building bigger and bigger models. It's going to come from building smarter, collaborative systems. By getting these AI agents to work together as a coordinated team, they can tackle problems with a richness, a depth, a nuance that a single AI, no matter how big, just can't achieve on its own. And when you start thinking that way, it just opens up a whole universe of possibilities. I mean, if an AI team can figure out complex market trends, imagine one that could discover new drug interactions by connecting thousands of separate medical studies, or another that could design a city's power grid for perfect efficiency. It leaves you with this one really exciting question. If you could give an AI detective agency any case to solve, what would it be?